Splinter Cell, also known as Metal Gear Solid if the Metal Gear Solid series were real stealth games, was released in 2002. Since then, I've played through it somewhere between 1 and a billion times, give or take a couple million. And yes, I always play on hard because I'm a professional. But this time, I wanted to take it to a new extreme. I wanted to find out just how little I had to actually play the game to beat the game. I came up with this list of rules to achieve this goal. Number 1, no gadgets. This includes ring airfoil rounds, sticky shockers, sticky cams, disposable picks, medkits. If you can think of it, just don't use it. Number 2, no shooting. Number 3, no alarms. Number 4, no throwables. Number 5, no using turrets to kill enemies. Specific to the Abattoir, don't do it, it's cheating, just stop. And number 6, no interacting with guards. Unless you have to get through the game. Alright, now since all of that stuff isn't allowed, let's get on to what is allowed. Movement-based sound. You can jump, you can run, you can tap dance, you can do whatever you need to do to draw guards away from wherever they are. Number 2, light switches and switches on water tanks. Flip them up and down no matter how many times you want to, have at it. Number 3, forced guard interactions will count towards the total and will be added to the stats screen. Number 4, all keypad codes are known. Whether you're psychic, or you have them open on your cell phone, or we go back to prehistoric age and you write it down on a piece of paper, follow your dreams, kid. And lastly, we're going to be playing this on normal difficulty. Now I know I'm a professional, but hard difficulty really doesn't do anything for the game. It doesn't increase the detection rate or anything fancy like that. All it does is make the enemies bullet sponges, and they just shoot you harder because they've got uranium-tipped bullets or something. I don't really know. It doesn't matter. We're playing it on normal. Deal with it. If you have a problem, complain in the comments below. I'm probably not going to read them. Or maybe I will. And I'll be up all night thinking about it. Make a good decision. Anyways, let's get into it. Now, because the training mission is so short, we're going to cram this into about 30 seconds. We've got 3 guards to deal with. The first one, we have to interrogate Mason for the numbers.
Hi there.
Hi.
You're not going easy on me, are you?
The second one, we need to melt somebody's eyeballs. And number 3, we have to practice our Dexter Morgan impression on this poor soul. And we've also got a couple bullets here too. And we're done with this mission. Was it hard? God, I hope not. And if you struggled here, I suggest you give up now, because this is going to get much, much worse. Police station? More like po-week station. All these cops are terrible at their jobs. The first real challenge we're met with on this mission is right here. Now this dude, bathed in what he probably thinks is holy light, but is actually God rays of my burning fury, is the worst. And it's not just him. Karen up here in the window, for some reason, has an issue with me just casually taking a midnight stroll. Classic Karen. Look, hit this spot. Both the guard and Karen have night blindness. This helps us cruise right by them. Nice and easy.
Too much coffee. I'm getting jittery.
You know, for being a surveillance guard, this guy right here is completely unaware of his surroundings. We make like an angry Walmart night stalker next to this shelf before snuggling up with this blanket. We sneak in, go full hacker man, and hide in the corner before making our exit.
Great work, Fisher. We're scanning the videotape.
Dude comes back in, we casually stroll out, hit the ground level, and we're out the front door before you know it. So, with all of our quick, fast dodging ninja skills, we managed to avoid everyone in the police station. Slamming a couple zeros up on our chart keeps us at 3 guards and 3 bullets. We rack up 22 quick saves and 24 quick loads. Not too bad. Up next, we move into the defense ministry, and we finally get to stop social distancing. We get up close and personal with Grinko's driver. Now this Penn Jillette cosplayer can't disappear from the iron grip of America. We fist the back of his head and move on. That's the first guard of this level. Now there's a lot of debate about who this guy in the red hat is. Is this a random colonel? Or is this Colonel Kebab Vehicle? I don't really know. But his eyeballs are my objective. And if it is Colonel Kebab Vehicle, well, then everybody's going to be thankful I'm about to donkey punch his tongue out of the front of his face. You're welcome. Up next, we've got this elevator. Armed guards? Check. Legged guards? Also check. Blind under fluorescent lights? Triple check. Now, I think I'm actually visible here, but it's just that it's like 3 a.m. and these dudes would literally rather do anything else. So they just walk off and we hop in the elevator and head up to the office. Alright, look. I tried for like 15 minutes to get past this camera. I have no idea how many times I quick loaded, but I think I almost broke my F8 key. And I couldn't do it. The guards down this hallway, they wouldn't open Nikolaz's door, and Sam opens the roof access door like he's wearing a full body cast. So this is what we did. We made like a gender reveal party and caused a small fire. But we put that shit out because only we can prevent forest fires. Up to the roof and I realized something. You know what's for nerds? Rappelling. You know what you should do instead?
I'll try.
Hanging on this ledge, shattering the glass as you fall down, slip back off the ledge and rehang, all while causing the guard to kill himself because his soul can't handle what just happened. But then you realize that he didn't die and didn't even break a bone, all while plummeting 3 stories to the ground because his legs are made of titanium. And he's the ultimate soldier that you never will be.
That's a good trick.
After hacking the computer, just hang back out the window, no one sees you, and then you leave. Working through the defense ministry, we unfortunately had to use our first bullet outside training, and with the driver and the colonel, we add 2 to our guard counter. We end up with a reasonable 30 quick saves and 62 quick loads. Mission 4 brings us to the oil refinery. We hardcore parkour our way past this first part, and I know what you're thinking now. We just started the level. How bad could it be? Well, since you asked, let me tell you. Do you see the fire at the end of this walkway? That's how I felt inside. Not burning with a passion, but with hatred. The only thing that could have made me feel better was covering my body in oil and using a slip and slide covered in glass. But look, this part is possible. Just do exactly what I do. Now, will it work for you? Probably not. The precision executed in my playthrough is absolutely top tier. But if you try your hardest and send me $10 on PayPal, I'll DM you a letter of congratulations when you get it done. Let me explain to you what makes this so terrible. The guard at the end here is on a loop. He runs back and forth down a smaller walkway just around the corner. And in case you were wondering, yes, he does have supersonic hearing. Having to tiptoe over these metal grates to not make any noise, while also having to balance moving fast enough so you aren't caught, is painful. And it's not even the first set of grates. There's a second set too. Moving too fast on those will alert the second pair of guards in this area. This was genuinely the first time where I wasn't sure if this run would be even possible.
GPS shows you trailing dangerously behind Piotr. If you don't get closer, we're going to lose him.
Fortunately, we get some reprieve with this last guard. Now this part isn't hard, but I felt like it was worth pointing out. So this guy is completely stuck in a loop. He runs to the right, he looks to the left, he runs to the left, he looks to the right, and he runs back to the right. Now he's doing a really good job keeping an eye on both these hallways. Do you see any enemies down those hallways? I certainly don't. So what's the strap then? Well, we sneak to his left. As long as we're on his left when he's also running left, he won't see us at all. If you're quick enough, you can get to his back, right next to the door. He'll turn back to the right, pop your little sneaky ass into that door right there, and you're solid and you're home free. After that, it's as easy as following the path down to Piotr. Give him a little Mike Tyson punch in the back of his face or whatever you gotta do. Grab the briefcase, and you're done. Knocking out Piotr means we managed to only add 1 guard to the counter. We also end up with a surprisingly low number of quick loads given the walkway from hell. I mean, maybe it just felt infinitely worse than it actually was. Well, it was terrible either way. Mission 5 brings us to the CIA. Now I thought CIA stood for Classified Intelligence Agency, but taking one look at this room makes me think it actually stands for Clearly Invisible? Aren't. Thinking back to our training, didn't Lambert say something about areas like this?
If the beam is at 4, it lit up like a Dutch broth. At 0, ghosts chat.
Oh, right. Anyway, does the CIA think computers are afraid of the dark? These are our tax dollars hard at work keeping all these damn lights on. Classic. Now here's the strat. Immediately out the door, hang a left and get to this corner. Creep out just enough to draw the attention of the techs on the lower level. Quickly run back and hop down to the floor using this OSHA violation. Now while on the ground here, keep this main structure between you and them or they will see you. Now as soon as they walk off, you're going to run up and use the computer. And if you're lucky enough, both of the techs will keep their backs turned just long enough for you to make your escape.
We're ready.
Good. Grim?
I'm inside. Just there. The leak is a low security PC.
Alright, the rest of this level is just, blah, blah, blah. Do some sneaking. It's all easy. It's not that complicated. You're done. Alright, now it's time for the hard part of this level. We're going to grab Doherty. More like Doherty. Am I right? Hoist him up on your shoulders using Sam's Olympic world-class thighs. And now we get to speed walk like we're an old person at the mall. We use this dope speedrun strat that I swear I found out on my own years ago by accident. I swear. We skip that whole lame-ass walking part and instead use Doherty's mass and spine to cushion the blow from this drop off the roof. We give this guard a right proper bonking and haul Doherty to the Freedom Van for extraction. Quick? Not exactly simple because there's probably some law of physics we defied somewhere in this whole thing. But it was pretty simple. Just watch the video back. That brings us to the end of the CIA. We end up with 2 guards right at the very end of the level, Doherty and the guard at the van. Now this brings our total up to 8, and we managed to stay under 100 total quick saves so far. But we do just barely break 150 quick loads. I know what you're thinking. It's the Kalinatec mission. Of course you have to kill people. They're terrorists. It's better if you kill them anyways. Well, not today. This is a pacifist run and no one has time for your genocide. Calm down. Up first is this hallway. One of the 3 guards walks towards you and hangs out by this fish tank. Let's deal with him first. Make some noise by this table, and then follow the fish tank man out of this room. Now what you're going to do is you're going to want to stay behind this metal beam glass wall thing, so that when he turns around, he won't see you. Then you can make your way down the rest of the hallway. Up next, you're going to want to stay along this wall. We're going to get that sleek, well-defined body to this bush. Now why can't they see you? Camouflage. I live in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina, and every day I see floating body parts in the local Walmart. Look at this picture. What do you see? Nothing? Exactly. Camouflage. Alright, the rest of this isn't too complicated until we get to Ivan. Now what you see here is a common occurrence in American truck stop restrooms. There's always one dude who's super angry about basically nothing, pacing around, ready to punch the first person who says something wrong. And then you have the person who's scared out of their minds, and all they want to do is relieve themselves after a long day of driving. Please just let me void my bowels in peace, they pray to their porcelain god. First up, we're going to hop out the vent and get out of the bathroom. We're going to do a quick fast 180 and make like Resident Evil tank controls up against this wall. This will definitely cause the man to lock himself in the handicap stall, the only place he can find solace in this wretched world. Run back in and speak to Ivan faster than Tech 9 on cocaine. Sprint to the elevator and head up before the terrorists realize what has happened and shoots Ivan. You will still fail, even if you've talked to him. It's lame. What's coming up next? Our first forced alarm? Or is it? Catch this dude off guard by flexing your giant testicles in his face. This stops him from calling his friends. He's just too dumbfounded to use the radio. Ninja hop your way over this wall and you're out. What's coming up next? Our first forced alarm? Or is it? Well, yes. Actually, yeah, it is. Now, listen. We went over the rules earlier, remember? And this is the part I want to talk about. This no guard, no knockouts or kills thing. To me, that just means don't hurt anyone if you can help it. So what do we do in this situation? Well, we do a horrendous Neo impression, get shot in the ass a bunch of times, and just haul out of the room. Now, does this count? Well, I'm making the video, so I'm saying yes. Will this cause some controversy? Is the Earth flat? Are we alone in the galaxy? Is 5G giving our children polio? Are birds real? Answers to these questions and more on the next episode of I Don't Know Where This Joke Is Going. Now we can pass these next guards pretty easily, and once we do, there'll be nothing standing between us and eternal happiness. And then, tragedy strikes. Wilkes takes a bullet for us while protecting our only escape. The world, it seems gray now. Food doesn't have taste, and sound is drab and uninteresting. I have trouble pulling myself out of bed. I don't know if I could do this anymore. But then I climb this scaffolding. Too busy shooting a dead man, neither of these dudes seems to see me, so I hop onto the platform and leave. We escape the Kalinatec building and add 0 to both the bullet and the guard counter. And if you don't believe in pacifism, go ahead and add 3 to the counter for that forced alarm section. But no one's going to believe you because that's not the number I put up on the screen. Now we're on to Chinese Embassy 1, and let me tell you, this level is definitely in the top 10 of the easiest levels in this game. In fact, I use the lowest total amount of quick saves and quick loads out of any other level. I guess the hardest part is getting into the embassy before the gate closes, but even that's pretty basic compared to what we've done so far, and what frozen hellscape we've got next. Now here's a quick video of what this level's like. Now just follow the strats you saw there, and you'll get through it no problem. I'm going to start this part of the video off on a high note. This level is garbage, an absolute shitfest of misery. It's the pure embodiment of truck nuts. Look, I'm just going to highlight the absolute jankiest parts of this run, but I urge you to watch the full footage to see what actually went into this. If we went over everything, this level alone would be well over an hour. To put it into perspective, I quick loaded over 200 times on this level alone. That accounts for almost 1/3 of all of my reloads. But now that the high note is over, let's run through the worst of the worst. Now after clawing and scraping our way through the first part of this level, we find ourselves in the ceiling. Now there are 3 guards in the hallway beneath us, and it's 100% fully lit. There is literally a single place to hide in this hallway, and it absolutely does not help us in any way. In fact, it would probably make it harder. Not to mention, the only way you can see what's happening in the hallway below you is with the thermal goggles. It's like it's your birthday. Everyone sings to you, brings out your cake, you cut a slice, and just before you take that first delicious bite, someone comes up to you, slaps a pair of red and blue 3D glasses on your face, and breaks all your toes. I swear this part is possible. It may have just been luck, but it is passable. This is what you do. Once the guards clear out, thanks to our high IQ diversion tactics of being a wild pack of rats in the attic, we hop down the hole and run to the freezer. We wedge ourselves between these 2 slabs of meat like some kind of reverse hot dog to hide.
I heard something.
Now hiding here between these 2 slabs of meat gives us a breather for the next couple rooms. Now the first freezer room is pretty easy. Evading the guards and running past the turret isn't a problem, but this next room, holy shit, this next room. I'm pretty sure the proper way to get through this room is to use the pipe and shimmy over the machines, past the turret, and then just casually drop down into the next room. The problem? I could not get it to work. No amount of ninja shimmying would get me past these guards here. These dudes have like eagle eye vision, I swear. So what do we do then? We jank the hell out of it. Now this is what I did. We caution the guards from this spot here. Sneak back to the doorway fast enough to wall jump in time before a different guard comes back. Wall jump, barely land on whatever piece of metal this is, and jump up to the ceiling beam. From here, we pull our feet up and wait for the guard in the next room to turn around, because otherwise he'll see us. We shimmy into the room and over the turret that will kill us otherwise. We time our shimmy over the machines and over top of the guard so that when he turns around, we aren't in his line of sight. It's ridiculous and absolutely nonsensical, but it does work. The jank factor hits close to 100 on whatever scale you want to put it on, as long as that's the top. It's terrible. This next guard standing in the doorway here doesn't seem like he would be passable. He doesn't react to any sounds, but there is just barely enough room for you to sneak by him to his right, hug the wall, and head to the corner. If you do that, it's easy. Getting through the cow pens requires a ton of patience. It's a lot of jumping and running in place to get the guards to do what you want. But moving into the holdout is where things get a little more complicated. I turn off the turrets and hang out by this back pen. After cornhole champion Samson here lobs a grenade at us, the light gets completely destroyed. This gives us a huge dark area to work with. From here, it's a lot of maneuvering around the soldiers as they rush the hostages. Hitting them in the back of the head is a one-hit KO, so that's what we're trying to do. The first three go down pretty quickly, and the next two seem to not really care that I'm there. You do need to stop them as soon as they get in, or they will straight Kobe a grenade and blow everyone up. Grinko, he comes out last, and he reminds me of myself in high school when girls would walk up and try to talk to me. I freeze up and then they elbow me in the face, and I pass out. Surviving the holdout here adds 6 to our counter. We break 200 quick loads because of the but manage to pull ourselves out of the ice like Arthas marching from Northrend. But way less cool. Now there's nothing fancy that happens for the second Chinese embassy until we get into the basement. This part is basically where I live. Gun-wielding, camo-wearing dudes who are so terrified of technology they shoot it. And here's the bad part. None of these guards react to sound, and there's really no way to draw them out of the room. Even if you alert them and hide in between the walls, there's a 50-50 chance they either completely break and stop moving, or continue what they were doing and destroy the archives anyway. And since we don't want to kill them ourselves, well, we have to improvise. Let them do their concussive maintenance on the computers, and as they walk away, stay behind them and make a break for this corner. It's just dark enough that they can't see you. And now here's where the magic comes in. After the guard plants the wall mine, pop out from your dark corner like an emo kid at a club and walk out onto the dance floor just enough to be seen. With some luck, the bouncer will rush over and blow everyone up on his way. This metaphor is a lot. Now, does this count as me killing them? I'm gonna say no. Now our first real guard interaction comes in the form of Mr. Red Fancy Hat here. Now, as can sometimes happen, guards will open doors when looking for you. This guy, however, he doesn't care at all. Not only that, the guard he lets in the room is completely deaf. No amount of running, jumping, playing the drums, speaker repair, carpentry would pull him out of this room. So what's our option? Unfortunately, we have to take the L here, and in this case, the L stands for lasers, which we're going to be shoot at Mr. Red Fancy Hat's eyeballs. The next challenge on this level is this guy, and we're going to call him Dumpster Man. Not because he's in a dumpster, but because we're on one. It's fine. I'm sure you're sitting there saying, no way this is possible. He's going to shoot that camera, obviously. Well, dear viewer, you're right. After countless attempts at sneaking past this guard, I gave up. I shot him, the camera, and everyone else on this level. I abandoned this challenge like my parents did me when I was 3. Just kidding. Most of that is a joke. I'll let you decide which parts. So what do? We pull Dumpster Man to the alcove first. As he's walking away, we sneak to these boxes, jump on the first barrel, and then over to the second dumpster. It's just barely dark enough to hide here. From here, we do a slight glitch that stops us from entering Sam's wide arm, I'm trying to flap my wings because I'm falling animation. If we just barely tap the railing here, we can maintain our momentum and keep completely quiet. We quickly duck, slow to a crawl, open the door, and we're inside. Do you remember the last time we shot something? I mean, neither do I. But guess what? We get to shoot something in this level. Our shot rings out like a cannon on the 4th of July. The explosive sounds of freedom fills the air. And then we make our way into a dingy, poorly lit utility tunnel. Is there a metaphor here? Maybe somewhere. Lastly, we have to deal with Fei Rong. Now he says he's going to kill himself, but we put a quick stop to that. Now, because he dies and I didn't technically hit him, does this count as a kill for me? I don't know, maybe? Either way, we had to grab him, so it's going to get added to the counter. And then us escaping the building is pretty metaphoric for this run, to be honest. We're escaping a blazing hellfire, much like the Abattoir in Chinese Embassy 2 were. Poetic. Grabbing both Mr. Red Fancy Hat and Fei Rong means we only need to add 2 to our guard counter for this level. Now compared to the Abattoir, I'll take 125 quick loads as an absolute win. This is it. This is what we've been working towards the entire time. The epic conclusion of this challenge. Now here's some highlights of some of the earlier parts of this level. It's nothing overly complicated, but I figured they would be nice to show. The guard in this room can be avoided by sticking your back to the wall like this. Now these are definitely the elite soldiers I want guarding my mansion when I become an international criminal and an all-around bad dude. Getting into the library elevator is weird. This is the epitome of patience. If you can do it, pull the 3 guards to the opposite side of the room, hop into the elevator, and just hope that they don't see you. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. Good luck. Into the library, we have ourselves a Kalinatec situation. And like the Kalinatec building, how do we handle all of our problems? That's right. We ignore them and hope everything just works out okay. So, like me avoiding any sense of adult responsibility, we sprint out of this library quicker than Leslie Knope and head to the basement. In the basement, we finally catch up to Nikolod's and get the chance to wrap our hands around his soft, baby-like skin. We grab him and force him to open the Ark, during which a pack of ninja copycats storm into the room. We wait for the signal from Grimm and, as Lambert would say,
Fisher, time for you to make yourself scarce.
it's a good thing we did so many squats moving Doherty around, because we've got to book it out of this room. We take a bunch of bullets to the ass, but that's fine. Extra health is just for pansies who get caught anyways. But this is where it almost comes crashing down, and where I almost had to restart this entire level. This balcony. This godforsaken, elevated sidewalk. As soon as I saved it up here, I knew I fucked up. This tiny walkway, mixed with the jank of how the guards are, was infuriating. Now, did I get past this? Oh, you know I did, in what was possibly the most jank way possible. So what's the plan? Following him to the end doesn't work, since he's too close to the wall to squeeze by. And when he walks back on his patrol, he's again too close to the wall for me to sit and wait for him to pass. I can't go to the right because it's fully lit, and he faces that way during his patrol. And there isn't enough room for me to hop over the railing to get back onto the floor level. So here's what I did. I run to his left side and give his ass a little boop. He, being an elite soldier, but not so elite that he spins around ready to shoot, even though he's literally only here to protect Nikolod's in case of an attack, casually turns around to see what happens. And using his lack of spatial awareness to my advantage, I immediately run around to his right. I full sprint to the end of the hallway, stopping occasionally to break his line of sight, just in case he's looking. And I picked the lock so quickly you would think that I was a lawyer. I throw the door open and I'm out of that misery. The rest is cake. Sneak by these guys, this group of dumbasses who I guess thinks no one can come from upstairs, and then we're out the double doors. It's so easy a caveman could do it, except he probably couldn't because he wouldn't understand the technology. But maybe you can. We finish up this challenge just shy of 700 quick loads, much less than the 10,000 I had originally predicted. Grabbing and taking out Nikolod's adds another 2 to our guard and 1 bullet to those counters. This brings our run totals to 231 quick saves, 695 quick loads, 6 bullets, 18 guards, and it took us 12 hours and 26 minutes. Now, if you're interested in trying this run or just watching me suffer live on camera, I'll have links in the description to the raw Twitch footage of my attempts. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, remember to dig and mix it.